City sidewalks, a concrete jungle full of stories. You got your trusty camera in hand, but one question lingers. What focal length are you going to use? The contenders. The 18mm f1.4. Wide-eyed and hungry, a 27mm full-frame equivalent, sharp across the frame, it devours the scene, perfect for capturing wide cityscapes, perfect for capturing chaos and energy. The 35mm f2, the classic 50mm full-frame equivalent focal length, a comfortable middle ground, a natural extension of your eye. It sees the world as you do, discreet, ready to capture candid moments. The legendary 56mm f1.2, the telephoto king at 85mm full-frame equivalent. It isolates your subject, blurs backgrounds with excellent bokeh. It makes the ordinary seem extraordinary. A noisy and slower focus technology, but this lens is perfect for an introverted street photographer. So which one reigns supreme? The truth is, it depends. Street photography is a dance, you in the city, a constant rhythm, watching, waiting for the perfect composition. Each focal length offers a unique perspective. The 18mm for the dynamic establishing shot, the 35mm for the candid close-up, and the 56mm for the intimate portrait. Experiment, find your flow, let the city guide you, and let your lens paint the story. Because ultimately, the best focal length is the one behind the viewfinder, you. Now get out there, frame the streets, tell your story.
Got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them.
Alright guys, I hope you liked that cinematic video that I made to start this YouTube episode off with. It was really fun to make. My fiance came out to Phoenix with us. We walked 8 miles using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to film most of that. Experimented with some super slow-mo and slow-mo shots. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I know it's not an apple for apple comparison using the 18-56 higher tier lenses and then using the f2 Fujifilm 35mm, but those are the lenses that I had, and I wanted to really just show you the difference in the dynamics between different focal lengths. Coming from using the Nikon ZF and the 26mm f2.8 quite often, using the 27mm full frame equivalent 18mm actually seemed exactly like what I was using with the Nikon system. So the 18mm was super easy to use, super easy to frame my wide shots, super easy for establishing those really big scenes. And then when I switched to the 35mm f2, I've used this lens a lot in the past with my X-T5 and X-T4, so I was very familiar with this, and 50mm is probably my favorite focal length. However, I actually preferred the shots from the 18mm, not the 35 today, and I don't really know why. I really can't place it right now. I think it could have been the fact that I was out early with the 18mm and I had fresh eyes then. Maybe I was getting fatigued toward the end of the day. I certainly felt that way a little bit, but I certainly tried my best to, even though the shots might not be like the greatest street photography shots you've ever seen, I really just wanted to show you the differences between the different shots. I got to one spot about halfway through, and from one perspective took 3 different shots at 18, 35, and 56 to just show you what your field of view looks like between the 3 different focal lengths from the same exact spot. That should just give you an idea of, maybe which one best suits you. I will say that the 35mm f2 did show some signs of it being a lower tier lens with some chromatic abbreviations here and there and some really bad fringing because I was in a high sun area towards the end of the day. I didn't see any fringing with the 56mm f1.2, and I used it even later in the day. If you're looking to pick up the 35 f2 for your street photography, it is a great lens. I love that lens for street photography. It's very discreet, but you're going to have to do a little more work in Lightroom to get rid of the fringing. The 18mm f1.4, I actually had this lens when I had an X-T4, and I thought it was too soft. I did not know what I was doing with this lens back then, and now that I've used it with the X-H2, it was phenomenal. I couldn't say enough good things about this lens. I'm using it today actually to film with, using the X-H2. I picked up a new light, which is lighting me right here, and big nice lantern to try to give me that soft light. I did notice a lot of hard light on my last video. Oh, the YouTube rabbit hole. Anyhow, let me get back on subject. All of these lenses perform very well. If I were in a tight place like New York City, Rome, Venice especially, I would definitely prefer the 18mm f1.4. If I was in a place like Phoenix, for example, the 35 and the 56 do lend themselves better with wider streets. However, if you know what you're doing, you can get great shots with all these lenses. These are all phenomenal lenses at different focal lengths. They provide different fields of view. 18 is great for your establishing shot. 35mm is great for your normal everyday street shot. And then the 56 is a nice way to, you know, add some portraiture style to your shot. Nice bokeh, nice blurry backgrounds. Also give you more reach. So if you're an introvert or if you like to stay a little further away from your subject, trying to be more discreet, the 56, while it's larger, so it doesn't lend itself to being more discreet. If you're further away from your subject, obviously you're going to be maybe out of their view and be able to capture a more candid moment. I did see some slow focusing issues with the 56mm. It's very noisy. It's a very noisy focusing motor. However, I did film my last video with the 56mm 1.2 and I did well. I did well. All right guys, that's it for this video this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to show you what 3 different focal lengths will do to your street photography. If you got any questions, don't forget to drop them in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and please subscribe. All right guys, until the next one, see ya. Peace. Pow. As in right now, I'll just wait. Just kidding, go ahead. Oh goodness.